Summing and averaging values in sequences like lists or tuples is straightforward. Let's look at a few ways to do this. The first one is using sum function. Sum function adds up all numbers in a list or tuple. For example, you have a list like this. You can simply call the sum function and put the list as the argument. You assign it to a variable, for example, total, and print it out here. Or you can print it straight away like this. Okay, now let's get back to the previous one. There is an optional second parameter at the sum function here. By default, if you don't put anything, it will be defaulted to 0. So if you have a look at this example, if I run this, I still get 23 because the default initial value is 0. So this line of code is the same as this one. Both of these produce the same result. But where do we use it? We use it when we want the initial value of the sum to be something else. For example, like 10. In this case, let's say I want to put it as 10. And the final result will be 33. Now we move on to calculating the average of the list. First, you need to create a variable called average. And you get the sum from the list and divide it by the length of the list and print it out. So you get 4.6. Now you might want to be careful with this. Let's say you have a list that is empty. When you run this, you get an error, zero division error. How to overcome the problem? You might want to check if the list is not empty by doing the if statement like this. Else, average equals to 0. When you run this, you get the average as 0 because the list is empty. Next one is using list comprehension. This is useful when you want to sum or average based on a condition. Let's use the same list here. Create a variable called filtered sum. Use the sum function. Create a variable called x. Loop through all elements in the list and only get x that is greater than 5. What you are seeing here is that it's going to take all elements that are greater than 5 and put it as a new list, and it will call sum to sum all the elements in the new list. Let's have a look at the result. Print filtered sum, and you get 16, which is 9 plus 7. If you want to get the average of the filtered sum, first you need to count how many elements that you have collected from the filtered sum here. You do so by creating a filtered count using the same formula, but this time around you use 1 for all the elements in my list if x greater than 5. Now what's happening in here is that every time it encounters element that is greater than 5, it will create a list of ones like this. This value 1 is because it has found 9 here, and this value 1 here is because it has found 7. So this list will be used in the sum function, which is in here, to sum all these two elements here. Now let's find out the result. Print filtered count, and you get 2. And using this result, you can get the filtered average. So you create a variable called filtered average and use the filtered sum divide by filtered count. You print the result and you get 8.0. The last technique that I want to show to you is using mean function from statistics module. Let's say we use the same list, import statistic module, create average variable, call the statistics modules, use the mean function in the statistic module, insert my list as the argument, and print the average. So you get average 4.6. Alright, that's it for today. Leave a comment below with your questions or ideas for future videos. Thanks for watching.